Okay, so as you see, I haven't been on here for a minute because, surprise, surprise, I still haven't done anything about anything, and I was embarrassed to get on here and say that. I'm tired of getting on here and crying about my life or how I'm going to do this or do that and still not doing anything. And taking a look at myself, it seems I'm becoming or maybe have already become a lot of things that I really don't like. Um, the kind of a poor me kind of person, you know. I don't like want to be that. I was never that kind of person. Maybe when I was younger, but I worked hard to overcome a lot of things that I didn't like about myself years ago. When I did, we did some acid, and anytime I used to do acid, which wasn't a lot, but I'd always seem to have these philosophical, moments of clarity about things. And one time, and at the time I thought it was a bad trip, but I saw myself for what I was at the time, and I saw a lot of fakeness and things that I just didn't like, and it really got to me. And it took a lot of work to change those things about myself. I don't like hypocritical things, and I try really hard to be as real as I can be and take accountability for my problems and my actions, because I used to blame everybody else for everything that was wrong with me. And it took a lot for me to realize that most every problem I have is a direct result from some stupid shit that I've done at some time in my life. My drug problem included. I can't blame my mother. I can't blame my stepfather. Because when it comes down to it, I'm not doing drugs today because of those things that happened back then. I'm not trying to run or hide. I don't think so anyway. I'm not trying to run or hide from, dark memories or anything like that. So I came to a conclusion. I did drugs because I wanted to. Addiction is a hell of a thing, but I'm not trying to get better. I want to get better, but what am I doing but sitting here and getting high and crying about how shitty things are, how I'm scared I'm going to die, blah, blah, blah. It's just a 5-minute drive to do one thing that could help me. And why haven't I done that? I can't give you a direct answer. I don't know. I don't like to leave my house. And that's weird too, because when I was younger, all my life, I was always a really outgoing, person that liked to be around people and liked to, go to events. And I become really reclusive. And the more I hide in my room, the worse it gets. And so maybe is that why I'm not trying to go do this for myself, or is it just plain laziness, procrastination, all of the above? And, and I'm just not going to get on here and keep crying about my life and getting back on here and saying I'm going to do this or do that about it, and then getting back on here and crying because I didn't do it. I'm not going to talk about that until I actually fucking go do it. I'm not going to keep saying it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to try to be about it. I'm not going to talk about it until I can be about it. So, that's just how I feel. How was everybody's Christmas and New Year's? I can't say mine was horrible, but I spent my Christmas alone, and that was my choice. I had a couple places I could go. Really didn't want to leave the house. Sat here with my kitty cat. Had friends that came over later, and I have this friend, my sweet friend. She brought me all these like samples of hair products and facial lotions and makeup, and in that and with all those samples was some butthole bleach. And I knew it was butthole bleach because a while back a friend of mine had lived in an apartment complex, and I guess the people next door had moved out, and there was a package that came and it sat there, I guess, for a very long time. And I guess she finally opened it up, and she had asked me if I wanted a couple things out of there, and she goes, "Here, do you want this whitening toothpaste?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I take it home, and I was actually getting ready to get it out of the box, and I'm looking at it. It says, for intimate areas, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm like, what the hell? This isn't toothpaste. This is butthole bleach. You know? And how many people really use butthole bleach anyway? And what color is a butthole supposed to be? I really want to know this, you know. Is it a thing to bleach your butthole now? I don't want anybody looking at my butthole, no matter what color it is. Yeah. Anyway, I really would have liked to have went to see my mom on Christmas, and she only lives an hour and a half away. But I know somebody had to have stolen my car keys, you know, because I have 2 sets of car keys, and they both came up missing. I think somebody was trying to steal my keys and then try to get my title. A lot of pieces of shit were coming around my house, and I noticed that it was really quiet around here over the last week or two, and like, God, it's really quiet. My phone's not ringing, nobody's knocking on my door, trying to climb in my window and nothing like that, you know. And I happened to get on the little access site where you can see who's in jail, and they're all in jail. There's, let's see, Junior even is in jail. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that I know of that was coming around here that weren't really friends, you know, just, I don't know, people that latched on, you know, that were stealing from me and this and that, you know, and they're just all gone to jail for not together, but separately for different reasons, all drug related, but retail frauds and shit like that. And like, wow. And I realized, you know, it feels, I don't wish jail on too many people, you know, pedophiles and rapists and shit, yeah, but, you know, other than that, I wouldn't wish jail on anybody. But I gotta say that it's been really nice not having those people around me. I've been doing less drugs, and I'm not blaming them. I'm a grown-ass woman. I have made my own decisions, but it has made it easier. And I feel bad that they're all in jail. But I've been to jail, and I've been to jail because I did some fucked up shit, just like them. You gotta pay the price. You know, you do the crime, you do the time. And that's just how it goes. You know, when you're out there doing fucked up shit, you gotta have it in your mind that, you know, it's a possibility that you could go to jail or a prison or whatever. It always shocks me, and it seems like people, you know, they're out there doing all this shit, and they're just like act like shocked as hell. Like, oh my God, you mean I could go to jail for this? You know, and then they want to like turn around and tell on somebody else, and you know, instead of doing their own time. It's like, you knew this could have been this was a possibility. You know, if you couldn't do your little time, then you shouldn't have been out there doing what you're doing, you know. I could never be like a snitch on people, not because I give a fuck about the other person and those people so much as I gotta be okay with who I am at the end of the day, and I gotta have some respect for who I am and for my beliefs and, you know, my integrity. And that's one of my things, you know, taking accountability or trying to take accountability for my own actions. That's a big one for me. And I know, you know, until you can do that, there's no way you can get it better at all. And that's the first step right there, is realizing that your problems are usually a direct result of your fucked up actions. You know, you can't blame other people. And when I stopped blaming my mother and my stepfather for everything that was wrong in my life, you know, it was like a veil came off my eyes, and I saw things a lot clearer. And has it made me get better yet? At times, yes. But at least I know that I have a problem that I can correct, because it's my problem and my fault, not someone else's fault. And I have no control over, you know, I do have some control over my actions. I have to have. But I'm running out of time. Hopefully next time I see you, I'll have good news. Bye.